Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and today I'm really excited to bring to you what will be the last figure for the Titans Return line. It is a deluxe, and it is Slugslinger. Slugslinger is actually a little bit of a special figure for me. I do believe it was the only Decepticon Target Master I had. I got him either for Christmas or for my birthday. Parents bought him for me, and I really loved the figure. I loved the jet mode, and I'm really happy to see it here. Now, believe it or not, Slugslinger is actually a heavy retool of the previously released Trigger Happy. As you can see right now, just in vehicle mode, really the only parts that are shared are what will be the lower legs in Slugslinger's vehicle mode. Let me get Trigger Happy out of the way. Other than that, it's basically all new tooling, even in robot mode, which we'll get to. One of the things I liked about Slugslinger, the original one, was that Caliburst was actually a rather involved transformation for the Target Master. You had to unpeg the barrel and flip the figure around and reattach the barrel. It was all kind of involved, and it was really kind of interesting. But this is actually recreated somewhat with the weapons that this mold comes with. Let me show you. Under the wings here, you have the weapon storage. You have that and that. Now, there's a couple ways you can put this together. There's a hole right there. In the packaging, the weapon comes stored like this. And the robot can, of course, hold it by the peg right there. That's actually, I think, just for the storage, because the barrel seems a little short. What you can go ahead and do is there's a nice little shorter peg right there with a groove cut out that fits perfectly in that hole. And bing-a-bang-a-boom, here you have his weapon, which very closely resembles the original Target Master of Caliburst in gun mode. In fact, out of all the updated Target Masters that have been included in this line, this is really the only time I can say that the basic weapon resembles the Target Master. Now let me just reach into the canopy here. Yes, they actually had to put a main canopy in for Caliburst, even though they could have made the nose cones a little bigger, but you know, it would have been a very out of scale jet mode. And just real quick, Caliburst does share the same robot mode as Trigger Happy's Titan Master. I do believe the name is Blowpipe. The only difference being there's a little extra paint here on Caliburst. On the visor there, it's a little red. And of course, he does have the Slugslinger head. But this is also the mode for the Titan Master vehicle weapon. You just peg him in, and you set him down right there. It seems a little odd, and this is really only the way it works. And of course, the weapons can be wielded separately, but we'll just put those off to the side. We'll get right into the transformation. How about that? First thing you want to do is turn the robot over. You want to push back the wings here. Now what's cool is we come in the back, the wings tab into the arms, but then the arms tab into the legs. So you get that extra security, and it's a really nice tight peg. It actually doesn't go in as deep as you would think. So go ahead, just bring those out of the way, and then you can come back around here, fold out the legs, fold out the feet. The heel pieces should come along right like that. Go ahead, and what you want to do now is collapse the legs up. See, there's that little section right there. Just fold that in, and it's a soft tab that'll hold it in place right there. I'm concerned, a little concerned, that might come loose over time. Come around, separate the legs, stand the figure up. Adjust the camera so you can see what I'm doing. come along the top here, and you want to just unpeg the nose cone from the back here, swivel it down. It's on a double hinge, and that will sit against the back, coming down quite nicely. The arms will just flip up, and again, soft tab into place. When I first got the figure out of the packaging, the arms wanted, when I tried to move the arms outward, they kind of wanted to move at that joint. And finally you want to flip the fists out. Now for the wings, you can angle them back ever so slightly. There are a couple soft detents, so you can position them as you see fit. Come in, drop caliburst down, I'm sorry, blowpipe, yeah, caliburst down into place. Sorry, all these old names are coming back and forth. And there you have Slugslinger in its robot mode. So we just add the gun here. So let's pause real quick. We'll do some comparisons with Trigger Happy. And here's Trigger Happy to do a little comparisons with. And like I said, the legs are really the only shared tooling. The chest area is completely different. I have to say, while a lot of people have said Trigger Happy is the best figure in the line, and that's a very sound argument, I do have to say that I find him, compared to Trigger Happy and also Misfire, which is another remold from Trigger Happy, needlessly complicated. I think the same figure could have been achieved using the same transformation as Slugslinger and Misfire. We didn't need to do all the rotations and what have you. But yeah, completely different figures. Now, you're probably wondering why I haven't reviewed Trigger Happy yet. I am waiting on the Takara version, which is a full Target Master and Headmaster, which Slugslinger will be getting the treatment. But let's give you a little view from the back. By the way, in case you were wondering, these figures are about 5 inches tall, and they do share the same articulation. So that would be ball joints at the hips, which are on Slugslinger, at least my version, nice and tight. Single jointed knees, but because of the opening in the back, very nice knee bend. You do get a waist rotation. Swivel at basically you have a universal joint going on at the shoulder, single joint at the elbow, no wrist articulation except for the transformation and whatever movement you can get out of the head. So we'll just pause now, and I'll give you my final thoughts. You actually might be wondering how I got this figure, especially considering that I haven't been able to find anything from Wave 5 yet. It's not in stock on Amazon, and I haven't seen it in stores in my neck of the woods. So that's kind of funny that I was able to get this figure first. Thankfully, I have a dealer online, on Facebook, private dealer, and he was able to get the case of that features Slugslinger in now. Basically, Slugslinger is going to the only new figure in Wave 6, but in terms of deluxes and Voyagers, there's going to be a bunch of repacks, so you'll be able to get your hands on some older figures. I still think there's going to be a ways off until most people can find Slugslinger, whether it reaches saturation or not. And to be honest, I think there's also going to be a lot of problems trying to get Slugslinger. I do know that the other figures in the case, I want to say, are Hot Rod and maybe Cup. So if you see a lot of Hot Rods and Cups, this case might be out. But I really wouldn't start looking until maybe closer to November and December, just because there's a lot of Titans Return figures and a lot of stock from earlier waves that needs to clear out. Now, this won't be the last we'll see a Slugslinger. As I mentioned, I am getting the Takara versions, which will actually give us not only a Headmaster, but a full transforming Target Master figure. But I don't expect Slugslinger to be released in Japan until closer to January or February. And from what I've seen, the weapon really doesn't look as good as what we have here. It might be the photos. I hope maybe a mistransformation. Because like I said, Slugslinger was my only Decepticon target master. It was one of my favorite target masters, period. And a lot of that had to do with the gun. Now, can I say Slugslinger is the best deluxe of the Titans Return line? What I will say is that he's the best deluxe of Wave 6. It's your old pal Chuck for Slugslinger. We will see you next time. Bonus points if you took a drink every time I kind of slurred saying Slugslinger. Take care.